Hi, so I'm done with coloring the paper, and I wanted to show you what I've completed and what colors I've used in case you like the colors and you want to get some of your own. You can get them from my Stampin' Up! Website. This one was done with Lemon Lime Twist. This was colored with Daffodil Delight, and I made a couple of pages of those, and they're a little splotchy, but that's how I wanted it to come out. That's the design for this particular project. We want it to be colored in with the spots and the ink pad, so it comes out a little bit uneven. So this is Pumpkin Pie. This one is Dapper Denim. And this one is Sweet Sugar Plum. Now for the measurements, I've written this down just for ease of use for everyone else. And you can copy this on a template if you want to. So I should have written it in darker pen, but I want to be able to use this card as well. Basically, we're going to have the cardstock background in white. Then we're going to put a solid color behind it, and that will leave us with 1/4 inch on each side that is used for the background. And with some quick math, that leaves us with 3.75 inches across. Divide that by 3 boxes that we're going to use. That leaves us 1.25 or 1 1/4 for each box. This way, we subtract 1/4 inch from each side, which will be used for the background. That leaves us 5 inches divided by 4 blocks across, and that is also 1 1/4 inch or 1.25, which is perfect because we want each one to be a perfect square. So let's get started. Using my Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer, let's start trimming this paper at 1 1/4 inch. I'm going to turn it upside down only because it's easier for me to cut it on the debossed side. Embossed is when it's puffed up, and debossed is when it's inverted. Also, I can look at the white and not be distracted by the little dots of color, and I can clearly make out what my measurements need to be. Sorry, let's get close for this one so you can see what I'm doing. Get a little bit light on the situation. Okay. Move things out of the way. Here we go. That is a good placement. Here is where you're going to cut. So you want to measure from here to here. You can either line up your paper here and move it up 1 1/4 inch, making sure it is lined up all the way down. Or you can go this way and subtract 1 1/4, but I find that to be a little bit difficult. So let's make it easy on ourselves. We're going to go to 1 1/4. Making sure that it's lined up all the way down. And whoops, it slipped on me. I was looking at the camera and not the paper. holding it down with my finger. And then what I'm doing here is I'm pressing it down hard because it is textured and I don't want it to move. I want to make sure that it stays exactly on my line so that when I do cut it, it's completely even. And I want you to see how I'm doing this. So I'm starting here, but I'm going to start slowly. I don't want to tear the paper. It's easy to tear the paper if you go too fast. And see how thick that is? See? Did not even cut because I didn't press too hard. I'm afraid of tearing the paper, so let's try this again. And you should be able to line it up exactly where it was and recreate. Let's press down and go fast. Okay, that time it did. Now, don't worry about having little shreds because only one side is going to be showing and the ones in the middle are not. So we still have a nice good edge right here. And it's not because your blade is super dull or anything. It's just because the paper is, like I said, textured. Alright, so we're going to do this again. And the more you do it, the faster you will get. So we're going to go at 1 1/4. And we're going to cut it. Now here's another trick that I learned from someone else's video. Put your blade in the middle of the paper because when you put it on the side it catches. So if you start in the middle, you're less likely to shred the paper. It also sometimes depends on what direction you're cutting the paper in. Oops, I missed a spot. See? And everybody makes mistakes. But they're only mistakes if you point them out to your people who get the card, and they're not going to notice. Alright, there. Now that one's cut. Let's try that again. Now this time, I'm going to cut it in this direction because I want to have this piece here for the end of the card. So we are going to have a little bit of a waste. So let's line this up with the line. Put this down. I'm going to start in the middle. And I think I'll go through it one more time. So this way, ta-da, it is cut. So that's going to be a little waste. You can either throw it away or find a use for it in another project. Everybody is different if they keep scraps or not. That's different for each person. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of take a little bit of the extra frazzles off. So we got 3 out of those. Now we're going to have to cut it again this way. So we're going to do it again at 1 1/4. Lining up your paper, using the guide and going all the way down, making sure it's lined up on these lines as well. That will give you a perfectly straight cut. Okay, here's another trick. You can score it first, then cut it. That prepares the paper to be cut, and it's a little bit less raggedy. That side, I didn't score it. It's kind of raggedy. This side I did, and it's a little bit cleaner cut. And this is what it's going to look like. That's going to be the square for your card. So we can get many cards out of one piece of paper. So let's continue doing that, and when we're done, we will go to the next step.